Clearance rates have hit the lowest level on record. It's a fitting end to what's been a pretty tough year for the property market.
But it's not all bad news. Property economist Dr. Andrew Wilson joins us now to share how you can use this to your advantage when buying a home. Andrew, what do the auction clearance rates tell us about the market right at this moment?
Well, look, auction clearance rates reveal basically the level of competition for property in the marketplace. Lower clearance rates reflect fewer buyers per property, and higher clearance rates reflect more buyers per property. And of course, we had a remarkable shakeout this year in our auction markets. We started the year, Melbourne and Sydney clearance rates around 70%, and as you said, by the end of the year we're at record lows. So basically that meant that buyers vacated the marketplace, and it is remarkable because our underlying drivers still remain quite strong.
Andrew, it was a no-brainer even sort of 18 months ago. You just sold your home at auction because there was so much demand. What do you say to homeowners now? Should they be selling at auction?
Well, just because we have record low clearance rates generally doesn't mean that there aren't some areas that still favour auction activity where we do have fewer properties and higher numbers of buyers, and typically they're in a suburban higher priced areas, but not altogether. In Sydney we have the lower north and the eastern suburbs where it's still wise perhaps to go to auction, and in Melbourne the northern suburbs and the western suburbs still have plenty of buyers per property. In Brisbane, in a suburban property still favours auctions, and similarly in Adelaide to the east and the west, auctions are a favoured mechanism for marketing. But we're going to see fewer auctions and more private treaty sales, and look, that's just a process of the easing of the cycle. But I think we can be guided by the level of competition, the number of properties for sale in your suburb to determine whether you go to auction or use a private treaty.
Now, Andrew, is it really the case that low auction rates are the best for just buyers, or is there something in it for sellers as well?
Well, look, obviously low clearance rates are good for buyers because there's fewer competition amongst buyers, but with fewer buyers. But it also means, as most buyers are sellers and sellers are buyers, that there's fewer properties on offer. I think that one of the issues we have in terms of being a buyer in the market with these low rates is that you may miss out on the perfect property, and I think you've really got to look at not the market but the property in terms of your buying decision, because you may just miss out on that perfect property because there's a perception that it might be cheaper in months to come.
Okay, well, a lot of people on holidays at the moment. It's the quiet time. What should they be getting in order if you're looking to buy and looking to sell this year?
Well, look, finance is obviously the key for any buyer, and look, the good news is that those restrictions on finance have finally lifted from the banks, even for investors, and banks are very keen to find new customers at the moment. So I think it's important that you organise your finance now when banks do a return next year, and I think that you'll be able to do yourself a very good deal, and of course that gives you the leverage when you do go to a property that is for sale either at auction or from private treaty to be able to become a buyer. And look, it is a good time to be a buyer at the moment, but don't wait. I think it's important that that you start your negotiation process and not miss out on what might be your dream home.
It is a big year ahead, Andrew. Thank you very much for your time.
Guys.
We'll see what happens in 2019. Well, fireworks are a way to celebrate and ring in the new year.